Hi, this is Roy Worley. Welcome to the interview show that brings on guests from all walks of life. Yeah, it's here that they tell their stories and delve a little deeper into their lives to see what got them where they are. So grab a drink, have a seat, and relax, because this is the Leo Effect.
When was the last time a short movie shook your emotions to the core? When was the last time a short movie caused you to rethink everything you stood for? When was the last time a short movie made you proud to be an American? When was the last time you felt the emotion to stand up and cheer after a short movie? The new short movie, I've Got Your Six, written and directed by Bill Foster, one of the industry's newest and fastest climbing directors, will answer all of those questions. Rarely has there been so much packed into a short movie that when you leave, you'll feel more proud of our American military veterans. A movie that was cast only with American military veterans will have you on the edge of your seat, cheering for our veterans and what makes America great. I've Got Your Six will be hitting the film festival scene soon. Be prepared to drop what you're doing and go see this powerful movie when it comes to your area.
Just a dream, but I can dream, can I?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Leo Effects. Today I'm joined by a very special guest. I've been waiting for a while to talk to her, and I finally got the chance, and I'm super excited about it. That little clip that you heard at the beginning of the show, that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I really hope that you after the show, go check that out further and hear the whole thing for yourself. But until then, let's get a little bit behind the scenesy with it. And please allow me to introduce the artist of the song, Jamie Jean. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So to kind of jump right into this and get this ball rolling, the song that I was referring to there, the title is "I Can Dream, Can't I?" And what's that all about?
Ironically enough, when I wrote the song, I actually found the title in this old songbook that I found at my grandma's house when we were like cleaning out her house one day, and I saw this old book that had like 1,000 classic songs like Sweet Caroline and like Amazing Grace. And sometimes when I like don't have inspiration to write a song, I just look at the table of contents and I saw I Can Dream, Can I? And it just sounded like a really cool title. So I wrote the song around that idea. And I guess it just sort of like one idea led to another. And the whole song just kind of like, it could mean, it's up to interpretation, obviously, but it ended up just sort of sparking different memories in me with past relationships and just the idea of like, I've lived in my head a lot in my life. And it's just kind of like a cute little take of like, I can dream, can't I? If that makes sense. So that was sort of the general.
Absolutely. So would you say that your grandma was your inspiration behind all this?
You know what? Because she's lovely and she has passed on. Yes, of course, she's definitely an inspiration. But she wasn't like, she was musical, but she wasn't like super musical. I think it was just this like ironic sort of like stumble upon this music book. Yeah, so I mean, yes and no is a good answer to that. I don't know.
That's fair. Yes and no.
Yeah.
So you're based out of Nashville. Why didn't you go with a country sound?
Good question. I think a lot of people ask me that. Well, I actually went to Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee, and I graduated a couple years ago. And since then, I've been trying to find my sound. And since I've had a good like 6 years in Nashville now, like I've been able to really like establish like what kind of music I want and if I like country, because it's one thing if you just like show up in Nashville, you kind of have this immediate pressure to do country, but
Right.
if you sit there for a while, like you kind of like you find who you really are, no matter whether it's a country influence, or not. I used to play. In short, I used to play country a lot. I used to play at a lot of the bars downtown and stuff, and I just didn't. It didn't resonate with me. So this is my first sort of dipping my toes into pop. This single. It's my first attempt at it.
Okay, that's That's a fair answer. I appreciate that.
But I do like country. A lot of the newer stuff isn't my favorite, but in general, I do love country music.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What is it that you're hoping that the listeners, like anybody that listens to your song, what is your hope that they take away from it?
Well, ironically, I think during this time, it's obviously a pretty like scary time for a lot of people. And I would hope that just a song like this, if people get the opportunity to listen to it, can one just escape from the anxiety that's being promoted in the media and everything, whether you agree with it or not, it's just anxiety, like riddling. But yeah, well, one, an escape, or two, just sort of encourage daydreaming. I think it's important. I think it's important to dream about things and like just look past like what's right in front of you, and I don't know, just kind of have an imagination.
Absolutely. And this is your first single?
It's my first single in this pop direction. I released my first EP at the end of 2018. And that was more like folky, probably more closer to country actually. But that was the first thing I ever released. So I was just like, I need to release something kind of thing. I was just getting to this point where I was like, I can't be afraid anymore to put out music. I just need to do it. So anyways, I just released it finally. And I think once I got past that first release, I was like, okay, like I can sort of like fine tune like what kind of artist I am. So this is my process of finding that.
All right. Okay. I see where you're going with that. That's awesome though, that you put out something before and you kind of switch directions. That's really cool. It shows that you're multifaceted.
Well, people are really afraid, I find, like to fail with music or any creative endeavor. They're just like afraid to like do the wrong thing, but really it just teaches you. Like I don't regret releasing a folk record or anything, but it showed me that like that's not the kind of music I would like. So I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely like a little scary to put yourself out there that way, but it's allowed me to see what works for me and what doesn't.
Yeah, yeah. And when it came out in April, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this month.
Actually, I think April 3rd. I forgot the date already because all these days have been like all meshed together.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe I read that it was April 3rd, and the fact that it's out now, are you kind of nervous about the way people might, receive your new EP or your new single?
I mean, always. I think it would be weird if somebody was like, I don't care. Like, everyone, like, I get really annoyed when people are like that. It's like, come on. It's always like a little bit scary to just put yourself out there. But I'm trying to think of this as more of a marathon and not a sprint, and just like, putting out things and finding my sound and not defining myself by one song kind of thing. That's my only way of releasing the tension with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah.
Did you have to do a lot of takes since this was kind of a different direction for you, or did you just kind of go right into it and like, oh yeah, this is natural for me?
I was so confident. I just knew exactly. No, I'm just kidding. I just started, I would say last summer. I spent a lot more time writing, and I took it more seriously, and I was like, all right, like I need to really write every day and just find out what I resonate with. And I just started to listen to more pop. I don't know where it came from. I just decided to. And it's weird because like I used to just be like obsessed with like really obscure music, like purely like folk, or just like even just like old folk music and stuff. But it's like I've made this total change, and it's not like I'm obsessed with everything mainstream right now. There's a lot of terrible things going on, and a lot of really great things going on, in my opinion. But yeah, it's been a process because I worked with this producer who's really great, and I ended up sending him just a bunch of demos, and I apologized in advance. I'm like, I'm sorry, some of these suck. And I just sent him a bunch of stuff, and I was like, just tell me what makes sense, because at this point I'm too in my head about it. So just tell me.
There you go.
So he helped with that for sure.
Awesome. All right. Well, where can people go to hear, to find this song?
Anywhere you listen to music, like Spotify is the sort of main place that everyone goes to now. So that's obviously an option. There is a music video on YouTube if you search Jamie Jean, I Can Dream Can I, or just I Can Dream Can I, it'll probably come up. I haven't looked it up if that comes up, but I would imagine. Yeah, the music video, actually, I recommend looking at that because I don't know if you've seen that, but the visual definitely like helpful, I think, with the song. The guy who did the video is super talented, and I think that's a cool like a good marriage with the song. But yeah,
Absolutely.
anyway. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I'd kind of like to shift gears a little bit. We've talked a great deal about the song. I'd kind of like to get to know Jamie a little bit better and have the listeners kind of get to know the artist.
Sure. Ask me anything.
Okay. So, how long did it take you to realize that this is what you wanted to do? Have you always known, or did you have to take a bunch of classes, or are you just naturally gifted musically?
Well, my mom was a singer, so I always had this sort of singing ability since I was a young kid. But then I went to Belmont in Nashville, like I said before. But I decided to study music business because I sort of have this like constant battle in my head of being a very practical person while also having a lot of creative dreams. So I never know how to sort of work that and manage it. So I was like, okay, like I'll get a business degree. And then also like, but I had always just had this nagging voice inside me. Like I knew what I wanted to do. I was just like trying to be too practical about it. And there's just a balance, you have to find with that.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
And you had made mention before that you played at like some bars and things like that, or do you have any particular specific first gigs that you did that just kind of stay with you forever?
Ooh, that's a good question. My first like regular gig I had was in Wisconsin. I'm from Wisconsin. That's actually where I am right now during this quarantine with my family. But I played at this coffee shop, and it was like, they had me play for like 3 hours. I'm like, what kind of material do you think I have? Like, honestly. But
Smelly Cat, of course.
right. I know. And at the time, I was just like, it was just a good opportunity. So I just sat there with my guitar and this amp I bought at like a garage sale, and I sang from like a music stand. I don't know. And just to like, oftentimes empty rooms, but my friends would always come, and it was just a really like special memory, and it felt really intimate, which was cool. I think that, once you play like more places and you start to take music as a career more seriously, the intimacy gets away from it. So it's sometimes my heart's just like, oh, like I loved that time. So that's probably the first gig I remember.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
great to have a support group like that. Like your friends and family support you.
Oh my gosh, it's everything, it just makes you feel like, because as an artist, like, it's obviously like hard in the beginning to like get people to know your music and just be out there, especially because I'm just like, I don't know, I'm not super like extroverted, so I've had to like just find my ways to kind of do that. And so my friends and family have just been so supportive, and it's been helpful for sure.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And what would you say, like, how do you create a song? Do you kind of all the time you're humming to yourself? Do you carry a notebook with you to just scribble inspiration that comes to you? Or do you say, okay, I have to write a song, and you sit down and just knock one out?
All of the above, probably. I think it could be anything. With this particular song, I found the title in that book, and then I found a beat like on GarageBand, and I like just put it on loop, and I recorded it myself, like a really rough demo. So usually when I'm just like, it depends on the kind of mood I'm in, because I can write in different ways and stuff. But if I'm trying to but if I need inspiration and I feel like a little bit stuck, I will just like find a beat, or I'll find like just a melody like online, and then I'll I'll make a song to that.
Cool. That's not the first time I've heard of somebody using GarageBand actually to,
Oh, yeah. It's
I
helpful. People don't like talk about it enough. It's actually like a really good like beginner's tool. Like I would love to get it more into production as my life goes on, because I love the idea of just like knowing how to use Pro Tools or any of those like mediums. But GarageBand is like pretty lame, but I'm like, it definitely is helpful. I'm glad to know anything about it.
nice.
For sure.
And so with like using these different tools and figuring out, where you want to go and what direction you want to do, is there anybody in particular that you'd like to do a collaboration with?
Oh gosh. There's a lot of people. I think I always thought it'd be really fun to like do like a dancey type song. So I'd love to collaborate with like a DJ of some sort. I really don't even have somebody in mind. I really like Louis the Child's work. That's kind of like far fetched, but I really like their vibe. So something like that would be really cool, and it would be different for me. So it'd be kind of pushing myself outside of my comfort zone while still not so far that it's not me. So I don't know. That'd be cool.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
It's just like your song says, I can dream, can't I?
Exactly. That's the idea. I mean, it's you have to have dreams like that. You never know, right?
Right. Yeah. Anything can happen, really.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, do you have a particular message that want to get out to your fans?
I think just yeah, the general like remember like during a time like this is just a good time, the irony and stuff. Like just have like believe in your imagination and your dreams and don't lose sight of them just because when sometimes the world can like feel really like stagnant and like scary and everything. And I just, I think it's important. I would hope that my music brings a sort of light energy to people. It's just important that I try and do that.
Yeah, that's really all it's about. Is just
Yeah.
trying to, we're all sequestered away. We're all doing the best we can. And personally, I think a song like yours is very uplifting and it's just nice to listen to. And, it's just great to have on, period. So good
Thank
job.
you. I'm really glad you like it. Yeah, no, what kind of music do you usually have on the show?
Well, I mean, typically, and I allow any kind of musician to come on the show. I'm not exclusive like that. But personally, I'm more of a metalhead. So
No way.
to enjoy a song like yours is pretty impressive in my opinion.
That's
So,
dope. I actually love that. When I went to Belmont, my like final project in this big class was promoting a band. Like that was essentially like we were put into groups and we had to promote a band, and you had to fill out this survey of what kind of music you liked. And because I was just so open, they put me, and not because I don't like metal, but like I just said I like all kinds of music, and so they put me in the metal group. And so I was like just like this, I don't know, like it's just if you knew me better it'd be funnier, but it's just like it's really fun, the irony of me being in that group. But like let me tell you, like I went to a couple metal shows in that process because I had to get in the whole, and it was fun. I had a great time, like, and I just think that everybody should have an open mind. It was dope. So
that's a fantastic story. I love it.
yeah, it was fun.
Do you have a talent that you would consider useless?
Oh my god. Useless?
Yeah.
Uh Probably. God, I don't know. I have
Like you're really good at snapping or
oh my god, I am trying to like think about it. I think I have really good handwriting.
there you go.
I'm never gonna do anything with that because it's not good enough to like make posters or signs, but it's really pretty to look at. So
Well, you never know.
yeah, I suppose it might not be totally useless, but as of now, it's completely useless.
Fair enough. What do you think you'd be doing right now if you weren't a musician?
Oh God, I ask myself that all the time because it's hard to be a musician. So I'm like, do I want to give up? But, no, I'm kidding, but not really.
Well, I
Uh,
hope you don't.
thanks. I would probably, God, I would probably be doing something related to fashion or entertainment. I've always liked fashion and just the entertainment world, something involved with that.
That's all right. That's fair. I like it. I'll buy that for $1.
All right, nice. That's a lot of money, just $1. That makes me feel very valued.
So the question I have for you now is probably, I don't know. It's up to you how much of this you really want to answer, but I find it's a pretty interesting opportunity for people to get things off their chest, but also kind of laugh about it now, whereas they couldn't back then. So my question for you is, what's the most trouble that you've gotten into?
Oh my God, you were talking to the wrong person. I'm like, I've been so innocent my whole life.
Sure.
Really, I can't stress that enough. It's actually been kind of sad because I look back on my life now and I actually wish I did more. Like truly, I do. But when I think about it, the most trouble I've ever gotten into was probably when I think it was the first time that I drank alcohol in high school. Probably that was
Okay.
just like yeah, that's the only thing I can remember. Because after that in college, I didn't really get in any trouble or anything. But the first time I drank alcohol, I think I just like I'm like super close with my parents, and I think my mom like, and she's over it now, obviously, but she felt very betrayed, and she found out about it. And I did it with my just best friends, like in my friend's basement or something stupid, but like it was the most harmless thing in the entire world. But she just like freaked out and got really mad at me. I'm so sorry for how boring that answer is. I'm trying to think of something else. God, I think I like accidentally had an edible once, but that was an accident. And
I can't
that was,
stress that enough that it was an
yeah,
accident.
it really was because I have major anxiety around that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the only other time. So unfortunately, I'm boring. I'm really sorry.
No, not boring at all. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. We'll get back to business. We'll go back to the business side of things. And do you
Wonderful.
have anything in the works, like anything you're working on to put out soon, or?
Well, I've had all the time in the world to think about it during this quarantine. So I'm probably going to finish out an EP by the end of the year. So kind of release single by single until I have a full new EP out. And we have
Cool.
a cool like backyard stage that my roommate built, which is cool. And I might do like a release show in our backyard and kind of have a bunch of people out for that. So it might be fun.
Nice. Yeah, that would be fun. That would
Yeah.
be really, and you're gonna do that in Wisconsin?
No, Nashville. I
Okay.
live in Nashville. I'm just here for the quarantine, just to be
I
with my
see.
family.
I
Yeah.
gotcha.
hmm
Well, cool. That's awesome. Is there anything about the industry itself that you would hope, like, if you could change it, is there something about the music industry that you would change?
Oh, that's a good question. Yes and no. I mean, I do think that I just heard too many talented people not heard enough by the mainstream. That kind of hurts my heart. Just living in Nashville, I have so many friends that are just incredible, and I wish they were heard more. I don't know how that would happen, but yeah, if there was a way to change that, then yes, I would change it that way.
Okay.
Where it wasn't just like everyone only hears the top hits, right? And then they don't hear anything else. I wish that there was some way to change that. But other than that, I do think that there are so many cool things happening in the music world right now. And obviously in payment too, but I mean, that's kind of a whole other conversation that I don't really involve money with my music yet until it's more of a career for myself.
Okay. All right. Right on. And do
Yeah.
you, during this quarantine and being sequestered away, have you found yourself doing any new hobbies or hobbies that you enjoy anyway?
Um, no, I've just been watching a lot of Netflix and TikTok.
The two staples.
I want to be more productive, but I mean, I've been reading and stuff, but reading and writing music. As long as I have been writing music, then I feel like entitled to do whatever I want the rest of the time. But so as long as
Right.
I have some productive time in there. But I'll probably, God, if this keeps going on, I'll have to develop some new hobby. Lord knows.
All
Just
right.
out of pure boredom. I don't know.
Well,
Have you been doing new hobbies?
no. No, I have not.
Well,
Same
I've been
old
asking
hobbies.
everybody because I need ideas and I feel like I have nothing to do, so I've
Oh,
been
I see. I see.
asking.
No, I have not done any new hobbies. I still do all the same things that I've done before. So I apologize for that boring answer.
No, that's totally fine. I can't be mad because I'm the same boat, same boat.
When you're kicking back watching Netflix or TikTok, do you have like a particular snack or food that you like to munch on while you're watching?
Popcorn, always.
Popcorn always, like the super heavy duty butter or just plain?
No, plain. I'm well, not plain. I'm kind of a popcorn like fanatic. So I have like certain brands that I like and ways that I like it prepared. So I've kind of
my.
thought it. My like roommates always make fun of me for it. They always know I'm home because I'm like making popcorn. But yeah, it's like really weird. But yeah, I definitely that's like what I'm always eating like at all times.
Well, that's fair. Not edibles, though.
No, God, that was an accident. Remember?
Yes, the accident.
I made that clear, right?
Yeah, the air quotes made that.
Yeah,
made that real
such an accident.
quick. Well, my last official question for you is, what advice do you have for somebody who's just setting out in the career path of being a musician or an artist in general?
Oh, definitely find your own sound and just stick to it and don't be afraid to like just put yourself out there. I think too many people are trying to be other people and it just doesn't do anything, you know? You don't get anywhere doing that. So definitely just really be confident in your own sound.
I like it. That's perfect advice.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that comes from your own experiences.
It sure does.
There it is.
Yeah, I've spent too much time trying to be other people. It's just I'm over it now. Like,
There you
okay,
go.
too much.
Well, I'm glad for that because this song, I Can Dream, Can't I, is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
So, in this last little bit of the show, I'd like to open it up, if you would like, and do a little shameless self promotion and tell all the beautiful listeners all your social medias so they can go follow and click the likes and the bells and all that good stuff.
All that stuff. Sure, I'll keep it brief. My website is jamiejeanmusic.com. My Instagram, you can just search by either like Jamie Jean Music. And Facebook, same thing. It's all the same 3 words, Jamie Jean Music. So you can find it anywhere, and you can find and just listen to the song via iTunes, Spotify, anything. So Google, whatever you have, it should come up. I fingers crossed for sure.
And it's great that you keep it simple like that because you can just go to any social media platform, type in, like you said, type in those 3 words, and boom, there it is.
Well, I'm too lazy. Like I would be a hypocrite if I like made people like go out of their way because I know I don't go out of my way for music. So I'm like, I'm not gonna make other people. So we're gonna keep it simple.
Right. You'll only go out of your way to make sure that popcorn is prepared perfectly.
Exactly. Yeah. Selective areas for that.
I love it. Well, thank you so very much, Jamie, for coming on the show and speaking to me today. It has been an absolute blast talking to you. You're such a fun and uplifting person. I really hope that everything goes beautifully for you in the quarantine and afterwards.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. And I'm glad you're feeling better. And I hope that the rest of this quarantine is okay and not super boring for you.
Me too. As
Yeah.
long as I have guests like you to talk to and beautiful listeners who tune in and keep this show going, I will be way good, even years beyond the quarantine. So thank
Thanks.
you, and thank you to all the listeners for doing what you do best and supporting the show. I really, really, really hope you go support Jamie. She's a great person and deserves it. So go to all her socials, follow along, go to Spotify or wherever you can get fine music and get this song. You're going to love it, I promise. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you all next time. Oh, now that was an awesome interview. Thanks so much for listening. You all are so great. And don't forget to head to Facebook, Insta, and Twitter and follow The Leo Effects. If you want to hear some comedy and ridiculous voices, check out Shattered Dungeons on YouTube and all other places podcasts can be heard. And you'll hear me voicing crazy characters, usually pretty terribly. So thank you so much. You all are the absolute best. And we will see you all on the next episode.